Good evening, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general reading for Capricorn, and that's Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. I'm a Capricorn Ascendant, hello. And cross watchers, if you happen to be lurking around. It is general, so if you've come here for something specific, I'm afraid I won't know until the cards come out exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Rather than doing a sort of 1 card, 2 card per week view of the month like some readers do, I'm just going to concentrate on one particular situation which is going to take up some of your mental resources in July. Seems to be working quite well for me at the moment. If the reading doesn't resonate, don't try and make it fit. It's literally pointless. There are loads of really good readers on YouTube, and we can't all resonate with all Capricorns at the same time. So just, you know, if it's not working for you, if it doesn't sound anything to do with your situation, just feel free to connect with another reader that might be working with your energy a little more closely. If you're looking for a personal reading, currently I can be contacted at the email address that will be in the description box below. I am building a website, but it's not done yet. Once it's up and live, you'll be able to book directly through that, and that makes things very much easier. But for now, it's the email. I think that's just about everything, so let's get on with your reading. Just as an aside, my children went to bed about half an hour ago, and so if you hear the sounds of children being peeled, I promise you they're not, they're just playing. But playing rather loudly, I must say. So let's have a look and see what we can get for the sign of Capricorn for July. Just give these a little shuffle. I have been shuffling them for like an hour or something. But I know folks like to see these things done. So here we are. One more. Let's see if we've got any jumpers. Apologies for the light. The sun's starting to set, and it's to pull the blind down, so it's a bit much, even for a Leo. Right, what have we got for Capricorn for the month of July? Oh, that one wanted to come out. Ooh, heavy. I've got Judgment, Major Arcana. What else do we have for the sign of Capricorn? Okay. Actually, I'm not going to take those because they didn't jump. They just flipped. I like them to actually jump out. But just for reference, it was the Queen of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. I say just for reference because if they want to come out, they're going to come out again. And it's handy to make a note of them if they do. So we have for July for Capricorn. Another flipper, High Priestess. Try one more time. And if they don't jump, then I'll cut the deck. And then at least I was a jump. The Sun, nice. One more, the sign of Capricorn. And that's 2. 5 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups. Just want one more there. and more of the sign of Capricorn. There we go, that's the one. And it's the High Priestess. I told you if they wanted to come out, they'd come out again. Right. So, looks like July is going to be pretty important for you, Capricorn. You're the first sign that I read for that's pulled all 3 cards as major arcana. And it's looking pretty good. So the first card we've got is Judgment. Yeah. The second card is the Sun. Card of Leo. And the third card is the High Priestess, which is Pisces, I believe. Right. So before we go any further, I'm going to draw some clarifiers. We'll try to put some meat on the bones of this reading. I have clarifiers, Judgment. Oh, hello. So we've got the Hierophant, another major arcana. This is a big month. Cappy. Yeah. Okay. It's the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Wands. I'm going to put those back because I only want one, and they both jumped out. Just one clarifier for Judgment. Keeping your energy to yourself a little bit here, Capricorn. What's going on? Cards don't want to play at all. Are you playing your cards close to your chest at the moment? Sounds like a pretty Capricorn thing to do. Oh, there's one. I've got the King of Wands. Interesting. So, the Sun. What can you tell us about the Sun? Where's the Sun here for Capricorn? Got the 2 of Cups. The Sun here. Oh. And the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, if you recall, was also the shadow card from the base of the Llewellyn deck. And the Priestess. Where's the Priestess here for Capricorn? 6 of Swords. Someone's moving away from you, or you're moving away from someone else. Why is the High Priestess here for Capricorn? So I dropped that. Didn't jump. That one jumped. Right, this is really interesting, Capricorn. I see a lot of energy here, but I don't see a lot of your energy here, which I find slightly discombobulating. I'm not going to lie. We have, in the main cards that have been drawn, we have Judgment. I have to confess I cannot remember what the elemental association is for Judgment. I think it's air. So, and we've got the Sun. which is the card of Leo, so very much fire. We've got the Priestess, water. But then even in all of these, in these clarifiers, we have actually got an Earth card. It's the Hierophant, but it's not Capricorn. It's Taurus. And I find it interesting that the cards didn't want to talk. I had to really force them to come out. In all the other readings that I've done, the jumpers have been like throwing themselves out of the deck to be read, but you're not wanting to do that. And it's really interesting because they're all major cards. Like, you would think that this was something that you wanted to talk about. But anyway, let's get into it. So, Judgment has a few different meanings, broadly. And quite often it talks of resurrection. It talks about having a second chance at something. I do not think that applies in this case. It feels more like day of reckoning than a resurrection of anything. I'm an intuitive reader, so I'm going off how I feel about the card. And I feel slightly uneasy, I'm not going to lie, but it's... Okay, I've actually got stalked by this card quite a bit over the last few weeks, and I saw it as a very good thing. But I'm feeling quite rattled by it being here in your reading. You're feeling very uneasy about something, and I don't really understand what. I feel quite heavy in the chest. I feel like if my heart were weighed right now, it certainly wouldn't be lighter than a feather. And so I think that you've got things sitting on your conscience. And only you can decide what, you fill in the blanks for you, you'll know what this means. I don't. But this first chap in the picture, if I can just show you that. See, he's obviously, dead, what have you. But the robes that he's in, kind of, I don't know. He looks like he's being consumed by fire. And even his face isn't actually that peaceful. No, I'm looking at it. There's this chap here at the top blowing his horn, presumably resurrecting everybody for the end of days, the day of reckoning, or not. So, the clarifying cards that we have are the Hierophant and the King of Wands. Now, the Hierophant is Taurus energy, and obviously Major Arcana. The King of Wands here is the Leo King. Very fire. So fire and earth. So it may be that whatever is weighing on your conscience right now involves a Taurus and involves a Leo. More so the Taurus than the Leo, I have to say. Since the Taurus came out as a Major Arcana and the Leo just came out as a court card. That may apply. The other interesting thing is, which I'm just telling you what I see here, is that there's something fairly similar about the way these two characters are dressed. They both sit on a throne, both dressed in red robes. They both have, headdresses on, as befits their station as a king. Apologies, Capricorn. how to deal with a small tornado that came through the door. So what I was saying was, both of these characters also are wearing headdresses as befits their station. Look, the Pope who's in his like funny little Pope hat, and the King of Wands who's wearing his crown. The Hierophant is one of the Acolyte cards as well. So at the bottom, you see these two baldy heave dudes. So I feel like the Taurus that you're dealing with, maybe a teacher, teaches adults, not children. It's quite specific, that's not going to be for everyone, but I'm just saying what I see here in these cards. So another interpretation of this is that being as the Hierophant is usually a teacher of some description. He can be a spiritual, he's a spiritual leader in some way, whether that's in an institution like a school or a church, or you know, it's a martial arts club, something like that. They symbolise tradition and hierarchy, and all those things that Capricorns like. Actually, it's a very earthy card. And the unease that I feel at the sight of the Judgment card makes me think that potentially the other possible interpretation for the Hierophant being here is that in some way, whatever it is that you're feeling uneasy about, so that whatever the thing is that's weighing on your conscience right now, is something that society would judge you for, or that an established structure, an established societal structure, an established structure recognised by society, like a club or a church or a school or whatever, or just society in general, would judge you for. Traditionally. And this king is looking directly, he's looking directly at the Hierophant. So whether or not there's a Taurus involved, certainly this fire sign, and it doesn't have to be a Leo, it could be an Aries, it could be a Sagittarius, it could in fact be someone who isn't of that sign at all, but displays the energies of that sign, because it's very active, a bold, dynamic kind of person. I feel like the Hierophant's looking directly at you, judging you quite hard, and the King of Wands is looking at the Hierophant. But what's he thinking? They look very similar, though. I might pull just another card, just to see what the attitude is. But I feel a sense of judgmentalism, certainly. I mean, what this King of Wands is thinking. Ooh. We've got the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords could be an air sign, but it doesn't have to be. Could be a messenger, but it doesn't have to be. I don't think either of those apply in this case. I feel like the Page of Swords is the energy of someone who has a fairly idealistic view, which is interesting given that it comes from the sword suit, but I think that is genuinely what I feel at the moment here, looking at this card. He's looking all romantic with his sword up in the air and his hair fluffing out behind him. It's very dramatic. But the swords are about truth. The swords are about integrity. The swords are about honest communication. And sometimes the page is the most honest communicator in the deck, simply because his job is to relay a message without necessarily understanding the social niceties, you know, the established social niceties that go along with delivering that kind of message, that kind of truth. And so sometimes he can be a bit clumsy with it, a bit tactless. Like, the truth is the truth. Truth is the truth. But I feel like the higher up core cards have learned a way to deliver that truth, that honesty with kindness. You know, they don't sugarcoat it, and they certainly don't suffer fools gladly, but they manage not to insult with it. And the Page of Swords sometimes just cannot help himself, just blurts out the truth as he sees it, and that isn't always kind. It can be quite cutting, in fact. So I feel like you feel like other people are judging you, and I feel like somebody may have already come forward and delivered their truth about your behaviour, and it makes you uncomfortable. Which is a really interesting place to start this reading, because the second card is the Sun. It's the card of Leo, so there's a double slapping of Leo in this reading so far. But the Sun is the most joyful card in the deck. It is pure joy. It is the warmth of the sun. It is innocent and it is pure, and it bathes everything in its golden light. Any reading is immediately lifted just by the presence of this card, even if it's just a clarifier. This is a big deal, and it's the depiction in the cards has usually got a small boy, a little baby on it, on the back of a horse, butt naked. But it depicts the innocent joy of Leo, the playful side. And that's not something that you'd ordinarily associate with Capricorns. So I can only assume that these two clarifiers that I pulled here, Two of Cups and the Knight of Swords, have something to do with that. It's the Two of Cups. It's the only cup card in your reading. There. To feel like a new relationship has made you feel like this, Cappy. It's made you feel joyful. It's made you feel young. It's made you feel innocent. It's made you feel playful. Nice. But it's tempered with the Knight of Swords, and I'm not going to lie, this is perplexing me again. I understand what all the cards mean, and it's just a really funny combination of cards to have together, and I feel like this is probably your energy at the moment. You've got things weighing on your conscience over here. You feel like you're being judged by something, by someone, by society as a whole, or by some particular people over here. And on the other side, we've got this card of pure joy, and we've got this card of two souls meeting. I have this. Why are you there? Business have you got being there? the Sun and the Two of Cups, they go together beautifully. But here's the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords, well, he's a step up from the Page. He's a little faster. He's not a great deal more tactful, to be fair. He's shown in a tremendous hurry, and he's the fastest knight of all the knights in the deck. Look at that. His horse is very clearly in motion. And he's charging in with his sword of truth and of honesty and integrity and thought and communication and logic. Oh. Are you conflicted, Capricorn? Is that where this is coming from? So Capricorn is earthy, it's slow, it's a dense energy. It doesn't move very fast, but it moves relentlessly. And out of the three cards that I have here in the middle, the Sun and the Two of Cups, it feels out of place to have this air energy charging in. And it feels to me slightly tainting this that you have going on here. And then we have the Page of Swords on that side, and we have the Knight of Swords on this side. So are these characters here, or these archetypes, which are symbolic of whoever? I mean, you fill in the gaps, you'll know. Are they judging you and delivering their truths like pages about this situation here that you find yourself in? This bond, this beginning of a union with someone who makes you really happy, possibly younger than you, possibly a fire sign. Are you judging yourself more than other people are internally? It's the fact that swords are about logic as well as truth, and about integrity and honesty, and you know, it's cold thinking without the emotion, and that's why swords don't really have any legitimate reason to be there with these two cards. This guy's all armoured up. You see him? He's covered in armour head to toe. And maybe this is you. Maybe this is the logical part of your mind. You hear what these other people have said, and you've taken the flack that they're giving you, but in what they don't know, what these people don't know, is that internally, the armoured bit of your soul that hides all the emotion in, maybe doesn't, that's armoured up in logic and fact and, you know, analytical thinking, is actually judging you harder than anybody else could. And that's why the Judgment card is making me feel so uneasy, why it's making you feel so uneasy, because if you were here and you were enjoying this situation, as it seems like you should be, you're a Capricorn. You don't give a fuck about what other people think at all. Like, it's not in your nature to do so, you know, like, there's a certain level of, you know, elitist thinking that goes with Capricorns, and for the most part that's actually probably pretty justified, because you know, you fucking put your heads down and you achieve. You are achievers. You work harder probably than anybody else. You know, to a fucking fault sometimes. But so why the fuck are all these characters and all these energies, why are they bothering you so much? If it's not for the fact that they've got a point. And not only have they got a point, you actually believe it harder than they do. Like, you're not actually cutting yourself nearly as much slack as it appears. Whoa, dude. This is quite intense. So, hold on, this is going to be the longest video I've done so far. The final card we've got is the Priestess. Yet another major arcana card. And the High Priestess is number 2. And 2 is an internal number. Everything to do with any of the 2s in tarot is about stuff that goes on in here. And the Priestess is a water card. So it's about internal feeling, internal sensing. It's about intuition. It's about the divine feminine. It's about all of those skills and attributes that the divine feminine holds. It's about trusting your own judgment. I mean, she's a water card and there is water on the card, but she looks earthy as fuck. Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful card. She holds all the knowledge. I mean, this could be a person that you know. She's someone that sees a lot more than she ever lets out. She's like a sponge, you know, she takes everything in, she doesn't let anything out. And she's the keeper of knowledge, she knows everything. But she's not an oracle. You know, she doesn't sit handing out divine wisdom to people. She sits and she knows. She's passive. She's very passive. I think probably one of the most passive cards in the deck after the Hanged Man. But I can't help but notice that she's sitting above the water. You know, she's not like some of the other characters in the tarot where she has a foot in the water, so she's in touch with her feelings, she's in touch with her intuition. She's actually sat up off the bank. She's removed from the pool of emotion, the pool of water, and it looks pretty deep, to be fair. It's overflowing at the sides. But in your particular case, I'm drawn to the fact that she sat here passively. She's clarified by the Six of Swords. Again, the Six of Swords is a sword card. It's air, it's logic, thoughts, words, intellect. And she's moving away, the woman in this card. She's got a kid in the boat, look, and she's fucking off. She's going to calmer waters. You see the waters to the side here are quite choppy. She's moving off. She's going to find calmer seas, new island, start again. The idea is that she's leaving something behind. But you know, she's got the swords in the boat. The swords are in the boat. So what's she really leaving behind? I mean, she's taking the swords with her. You know, and if these are the same swords that were in the 3 and in the 4 and in the 5, like, she should have dropped half of those swords and kept one, the truth, and taken it with her. So she's leaving a situation, but she's carrying the baggage of the situation along. And then we come to another 2, internal. It's the 2 of Wands. So again, not at all your energy. And the 2 of Wands is internal. It's about planning. If the Ace of Wands is about the creative spark that gets something going in your head, some sort of project or venture, or you know, something that you feel passionate about, then the 2 is the point at which you sit and you make plans before reaching the 3, which is the external manifestation of the plan. It's when you start putting things into motion. It's when you start being able to see things externally coming together to facilitate whatever it is that you're taking up. He's staring at the world. I mean, you think you're travelling? You're thinking of running away? Oh, this reading's getting pretty fucking heavy. Like, both of these cards here, you see them? We've got the 6 of Swords, which is about motion. It's about moving yourself over water, right? And obviously the symbolic point of that is that you're going over the emotions. You're going from choppy emotions to nice, calm, you know, water emotions. But maybe you're thinking of travelling or running away, because then I'm looking again at this card here, which is a card of thinking and planning and stuff, and he's looking at a globe. He's stood by water. But what bothers me about this is that they're the clarifiers for the priestess. The priestess who is pretty earthy looking and shit and knows everything. She's also about secrets. She's about keeping secrets. And what bothers me here is we've got a situation that you're feeling judged by. You feel like people are judging you because you may or may not have behaved in a particular way. And we've got this relationship here which is bringing you a lot of joy, potentially with a younger sun sign. Potentially, it doesn't have to be. It could just be the absolute pure joy of this relationship here. And then you're judging yourself. You're Knight of Swords, movement, armoured movement. And then we've got secrets. And secrets about travel or about motion. But the fact that all of these cards came up together in one reading suggests to me that all of this is related. And if all of this is related, then it means that this is not you just planning a new life somewhere cool, secretly. It's running away. You can't run away from problems, Cappy. They don't disappear if you run away from them. They always catch you up eventually. No. Knight of Wands, again, the bottom of the deck. The whole theme for the reading, the shadow card is running away. Is Knight of Swords. I can't tell you what to do. You do you. If you're thinking about doing this, and if I'm in any way like hitting the nail with someone here, then you've obviously got your reasons for it. But let's see what the card says for advice. If you've made mistakes, just own them. People can't... The fact that you're letting other people's judgment get to you means, I think, that you do know that what you've done was wrong. But if you hide from it and if you run from it, right, you know what I'm saying. Here's some advice for Capricorn for July. Some advice for Capricorn for July. Fucking hell. Right, the cards need to jump, not flip. Right? Some advice for Capricorn. There we go, finally. Oh. Huh. It's the second reading today, let's have that. So, your first advice card is Death. Don't panic, that's cool. Okay, another card of advice for Capricorn for July. Whoop. Okay. So the bottom of the deck, we've got another Knight. This is the Knight of Wands. So fairly flighty energy, I have to say. But yet another Knight to add to the pile of Knights that we've got going on. And a pile of Knights that none of which are in your element. I think that's the other thing that bothers me here, Cappy. You're not here. You're not showing up in your own reading. Not only are you not showing up personally in your own reading, but your energy is just not here either. We've got the Hierophant, but I don't think the Hierophant is you. So where are you? What are you doing? Are you indulging in flights of fancy? Is this somebody else's idea and you're just going along with it? Cappy, that's not how you roll. Like, Capricorns like to be in charge. And if you're not in charge right now, and I don't think you are because you're not appearing anywhere in this reading, then you need to sit back and have a little think. See, 2 advice cards. Check those out, aren't they gorgeous? You've got Death, and you've got the Moon. Death is a wonderful card. It can mean lots of things, but principally it means transformation and it means endings. It means clearing out old things to make way for the new. Because fundamentally, physical death, what is physical death? But, you know, a changing of state. We'll draw some clarifiers to Death, because what Death is either saying to you here is that you need to transform, and that's highly possible given what I'm seeing here. You need to transform the energy that you're experiencing in your current state, because your current state is not your state, it's somebody else's state. or you need to end something. It could literally be as simple as that. But I'm not gonna. We'll get a clarifier and then we'll have a better idea of what the crack is. So let's get a clarifier for death. Why is death here as advice for Capricorn? It's got the Magician. Ooh, and the Ace of Wands. Again, neither of those are earth energies, but they're not bad energies at all. The Magician and the Ace of Wands. So, in which case, this is about transformation. There's nothing asking to end here, but well, potentially there is. I mean, if it's an ending, if you need to end something, it's so that you can make way for the new. And fuck me, here's the new. Creative, passionate new thing, plus all the fucking tools that you could ever need to manifest that new thing and make it fucking happen. Or transform. Transform and get hold of these energies. No, it's ending something. Well, you take it how it resonates for you. I think it's about transformation, personally. The second card is the Moon. That moon there. Absolutely stunning card. I love this so much. And it's got an owl on it, which is supposed to be a harbinger of death, or is at least supposed to be a communication animal between the living and the spirits of the dead. If you've ever had an owl come and visit you, you'll know what I mean. But the moon is huge, and it's lighting up the water. It's about illusion, and it's about secrets. It's about things that bubble away underneath the surface, and things that you're not really quite aware of that need to come out. And I mean, that certainly lends credence to the idea that this is about transformation, and certainly the presence of the High Priestess also suggests that there's an element of secrecy in here. And it doesn't... The High Priestess is not deceptive. There's not a deceptive energy to that. But the moon sometimes can be deceptive, but more often than not, it's about deceiving yourself about a situation. Which then, end the situation. Take it how it resonates. The moon is illuminating things. Things are going to start coming to light, and there are things that you need to deal with, and whether that's actual like IRL issues that are coming up that you need to deal with, or whether this is, your little lobster of subconscious, like kind of crawling out of the water and demanding that you look at it. Like, the message from the moon is pretty clear, and that is things aren't as you perceive them at the moment. It needs looking at, whether that's inside you, whether you are deceiving yourself about something that you're doing, or whether you're, being guilty of casting a glamour over yourself on a situation because you want it so desperately to be the case. And let's face it, like, we've all been in that situation. We know what that's like. But ultimately, it's deceptive, and ultimately it will come crashing down. There's no doubt about that one. I mean, let's pull a clarifier and see if we can come up with a firm answer either way as to whether it's inside or outside. Clarify the moon for Capricorn, please. Oh. So we've got the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is, again, it's about illusion. It's deceptive. Like, the seven I like the sevens. Sevens help. All that glitters is not gold. That's what I hear. Like, that's what I'm hearing right now. All that glitters is not gold. What the cards are saying is that you're deceiving yourself about a certain situation, and you really need to analyse why you're doing it. I mean, there's probably going to be an obvious answer, but there's more likely than not going to be a less obvious answer. And I say that because it's the moon. You know, if it was obvious, then it would just be obvious, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be hidden. But you've got a card of deceit and illusion and things being hidden and secrets, and then you've got a card here of options and illusions and things not being quite as shiny as they appear on the outside. And all of this is within your power, but you have to take your power back from wherever it's fucking leeching at the moment, because you're just not here. You're not here at all. Right? I'll turn the camera down to look at this spread, like, if I can. Can I do this? No, apparently I can't. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. So look, here are all the cards here. Here are your three main cards. Here are your clarifiers. I'm seeing water, I'm seeing swords, I'm seeing fire, and in the whole fucking lot, you've got one earth card. Yeah, this one. And it's not even your fucking card, Capricorn. Sort your shit out. Like, somewhere you've got diluted, somewhere you've got swept up in somebody else's airy, watery, deceptive illusion. And this isn't like you. Like, you're anchored, you're an earth sign. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that, because like, I wanna be banging away at this forever, because this video is a long fucking video anyway, but it really took some taking apart. I'm kind of surprised. If this resonated with you in any way, please, like, talk about it down in the comments. Let me know what the crack is, because this is very specific. So it's obviously not going to be for all of the Capricorns out there, but this is a really specific situation, and if it applies to you, like, let me know. Like, it's the whole reason I'm on YouTube, is because I actually want to help people. And this seems like the best way to reach out to multiple people at once. And you know, and if this does apply to you and you don't want to talk about it in the comments, like, I totally get that, totally respect it, understand. But best of luck, because this shit seems like kind of heavy, kind of hard. I hope you sort it out. I hope you find yourself anchored back down again where you belong as a Capricorn. And yeah, the usual shares. Subscribe, like, do all the shiny YouTube things. Yeah, best of luck, Cappy.